If Apple is going to follow the likes of Samsung and Sony and release a smartwatch, the company will likely do so in 2014. Now, there's been a lot of rumors that have been swirling around Apple's upcoming supposed smartwatch, but the most recent development suggests that Apple is now hiring large numbers of designers and technical experts to help the company reach its goals in creating a wrist-based Apple device. Supposedly, a team of about 100 product designers are working on the iWatch, including managers, marketers, and software and hardware engineers who previously worked on the iPhone and iPad. So with this in mind, let's start by talking about some of the things that will likely be in Apple's upcoming iWatch. Now, the first thing that's probably going to come to mind for a lot of you is what it will actually be called. And in case you were wondering, Apple will almost certainly be calling its smartwatch the Apple iWatch. This comes after confirmation came in that the tech giant had filed iWatch trademarks in Japan and Russia. What a lot of you may not know though is that Apple may not be able to call its products the iWatch in the UK, US, and in Europe after it was revealed that the iWatch has actually already been trademarked in those countries. Now, another thing that's going to be crucial in determining the success of the iWatch is its price. Now, there hasn't actually been much talk about what the Apple iWatch will cost, but thanks to other companies, we can get a rough idea of what the cost will be. Now, the Sony Smartwatch 2 is around $200, and the Galaxy Gear is around $300, so it would be sensible to assume that Apple will price their iWatch somewhere in there. The last generation iPod Nano, which looked a lot like the Apple iWatch, or is supposedly going to look like the iPod Nano 6th generation, that cost around $200, so that's another indication of what the price could be. Now, Apple does like to price their products on the expensive side, so if we add in maybe another $50, $60, $70 to the price, I think we could be getting a price somewhere between $200 and $350. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but this is, I think, a good estimation based on other smartwatches we've seen and based on knowledge of Apple's previous pricing techniques. Now, another thing that's going to be almost essential in determining the fate of the iWatch is what features it's going to have. Now, the latest rumors about the upcoming Apple iWatch confirms that Apple might be making two iWatch devices, one size for men and one for women. Now, that's not that big a deal, but one would likely be a lot smaller than the other if that were the case. Now, but what were the features that would have that the iWatch would actually be able to stand out with? Other smartwatches have struggled in actually finding a market for people who actually want a wearable technology on their wrist. There just hasn't been that much use for it so far. I actually recently did a video about what Samsung should do in upcoming versions of the Galaxy Gear, and I came to the conclusion that they really need to do a lot more stuff with voice, maybe also some stuff that's unique that we haven't seen before that can only be done on a smartwatch as opposed to a smartphone or tablet. It's not that fun using a really small screen on your wrist when you think about it, so smartwatches really need to do something unique and different to stand out from other technical and technological devices. Now, on that subject, here's what Apple might put into their iWatch to make it stand out. Now, a lot of people have dismissed the idea of an Apple iWatch, but the cult of Mac notes that recently Siri and iCloud have become massively important to Apple. Now, these two technologies actually lend themselves really well to a wristwatch strategy. Now, it points out, the iWatch actually could be really well suited as a remote control to, like, say, an Apple TV, and this would actually tie in with the rumored Apple iTV, which would actually be an actual television that Apple would be working on. Now, an iWatch would be definitely an interesting device to see from Apple, and I would be very interested to see what Apple would put in it. If they were to use something like Siri, that would be good for navigating around the smartwatch instead of using actually a touchscreen, which could be kind of annoying. Also, iCloud could easily put your songs and some podcasts and other stuff on your device rather than you having to sync it manually, which would also be really, really nice. Now, as far as the battery life of the rumored iWatch, we really want to see something really good in the iWatch as far as battery. Now, other smartwatches have struggled in this, like in other categories. They've just had battery lives that have been underwhelming. Pebble is like a great example of this. Pebble you have to charge every 3 or 4 days, and for something that's supposed to constantly be on your wrist, that's really not that great. For a smartphone maybe, but not for a smartwatch, considering you're almost constantly going to have that on your wrist. Now, the Apple iWatch could have a very unique design, a very unique lineup of features, and it's going to be made by Apple, so a lot of people are speculating that the Apple iWatch will make smartwatches cool. Now, while I can't guarantee that the Apple iWatch will do that, or whether it will even be a success at all, I'm definitely interested to see what Apple does have in store for their upcoming wearable device. Let me know what you want to see in the Apple iWatch in the comments below though. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!